Everybody go like this. All right, and then go like.
You show them for it. Stretch. That's good. That's good. Like you can do a lot of exercises here, like pull your arms up, push your elbow back. You know, push those elbows back with your other hand there.
She hit her mic and it sounded like her bones cracked. So that was kind of
I just fucking.
Scary. I'm old, Neon. They probably did.
All right, so everybody, touch your tippy toes. I want to see bones breaking. All right, touch them.
Okay, you ready? That's easy for me.
How does that even what?
The thing is with the player model, though, as you go for your feet, it just goes away. Like watch.
exactly. Yeah.
All right, are you guys ready?
You guys ready?
You ready, Pork? Finish up your stretching. We'll get started.
Oh yeah, no, I'm ready.
Okay, let's go then. All right, guys. So all of you, you're a huge variety of levels. So I'm gonna start just with the basics here with some throwing stuff, and then you can just get from it what you can, because some of you are going to know this already and others of you won't. But one of the reasons I wanted to go over this tonight was because I thought if we did have people at different levels, you can pass this on to other newer players, okay? So if you're in that training area in the lobby and you meet newer players, then what I'm getting ready to tell you, you can pass it on to them. So typically one of the first things people will ask you in the game is they'll say, how do you throw the disc? Okay, you know, I'm sure you've already had people asking you that. How do you throw the disc for the most accuracy or whatever? So there are basically 3 main ways and then 2 other ways to handle the disc. The 3 main ways to throw the disc are obviously the overhand throw like a ball. That's the way most of us do it because it's very, very fast. I'm going to be passing this to you twice. So it's very fast to throw it that way, and it's very accurate, okay? The next way is underhand throw, just like a bowling ball. It's a little less accurate. Some people do flick it, and they've capped that so it's not messed up. It's not an exploit or anything anymore, but you can get it pretty fast that way, but I would only recommend doing that if you're down below the goal, because there would be no reason if you're anywhere else to be doing it underhanded like you're going upward. The other main way is just like a frisbee throw. And so, sorry, I don't actually prefer that throw because I was trying to throw it slowly. No, it was my fault. And so I don't prefer that for the most part because I think it's a little less accurate if you're going to the disc, if you're going to the goal and stuff. However, the good thing about it is you can throw it really fast. So you can do the frisbee throw and really get a good swing on it if you just extend your arm and your wrist, you know, just like you're throwing a frisbee, depending on how you practice that in real life and when you release it and let it go and how much push behind that, you're going to get a better throw. So that's something to think about. So those are the 3 main throws, like a ball, like a frisbee, like a bowling ball. I would
throwing it like a softball.
Yes, Lens.
So, not like this.
I was getting ready to do the next 2. Okay, hold on just a second. So I would recommend out of those 3 to always tell newer players to just do it like a ball overhand, because that's going to be a little easier for them and it feels natural. Even though it looks like a frisbee, it feels like a ball, okay, because this is more akin to real life physics. So I'd recommend that you tell them to do that, and then of course they can do any of the ones they want. Now the other 2 I was going to mention, one of them is what Lens was just asking about, the what do you call it? I just forgot what you call it. The inside throw. There's a term for it, but I can't remember what it is. So you do this neon catch. So you can go like that, and you can just flick it inward with your wrist. Now that's a good one to use sometimes to fake people out, so that if you're in a certain position, you may want to just come around and swing it around. If you sorry, I keep throwing that to you very badly, twice, but you can just swing it around and throw it inside like that. And you can actually get a lot of accuracy on that. Some people prefer that throw, Lens. I don't know if you actually... Do you play sports in real life, or have you?
What?
Have you ever played sports in real life? I'm putting him on the spot. So it's okay. Some people are gonna feel like they need to throw it based on whatever they did in real life, so that's something to think about. Now that's the 4th one, is the flick like that. The other one I was going to show you is not really a throw technically, but is more of the slap. And I think we just touched on this last lesson, but remember with a slap, if you're close to goal or something, if you have the disc next to you, you can do your auto grip bend your middle finger and very quickly hit something. Like I can hit this and bounce off. Same thing with the disc. So I can hit it like that and pop it off. That's a really good thing to do if you're in a hurry or if you're near the disc or whatever and you just need to get it out of the way quickly. Like if he's blue, he's the enemy. If he were going to grab that and I were to come by here, I could, if it were near us, I could just come by and slap it out of the way.
Oh, I love doing that.
Yeah,
so
that's
You're punching it.
not,
I don't get it.
well, yeah, kind of, I guess you are punching it, kind of. So that's one thing I want you guys to practice tonight is all the different throws in different circumstances. So, for example, if you're above the goal, you're probably going to be more likely to use the overhand or the frisbee. If you're passing it, overhand or frisbee. If you're under the goal, bowling ball works well. In all circumstances, you can do the slap because you just want to get it away from people. That's a good thing to practice. Now, one way to practice using slap, it's the same principle, whether you're doing the disc or something else. But one way to practice that is to get in a close area, like, let's say I'm over here. You can do this in the lobby, but let's say right now, for tonight's purposes, I want to practice it in here. I'm just going to bounce back and forth as fast as I can between stuff.
I can't do that.
So slapping back and forth. That's what you can do to practice that bouncing off. And it's really not as easy as it looks. Like people think that's easy, but you know, you accidentally sometimes grab. You guys are doing a good job with it though. So that'll be really good because you can use that for the disc and you can also use that to bounce off your teammates. Yes.
So like
Wait, you
whenever
can
when I first started out
Right.
doing the slap, the one thing I'd figure out was that the button would get stuck all the time. Do you have any tips? Or just do it fast?
You're betting on your controllers getting stuck?
Dang it.
Yeah,
it's
so
not
like
a-
when I go to do the slap, it would like either get stuck, like it's weird to
trigger?
explain. Yeah, the trigger would get
It
stuck.
got stuck down. I had that drawing in certain games.
Yeah.
I
don't know
had to
ASL
turn
for
mine
that.
and get a new controller.
Yeah, that sounds
It
like
might
a
just be-
controller issue, maybe.
I had
So-
syrup stuck in mine.
Pascal.
Yes.
Well, no,
Seriously,
like,
so
I
you
got
hold your
syrup
grip button and then like let go when you
Either
touch
that or
it?
Yes.
my fast
Yeah, just like that.
Oh, okay.
As fast
Okay.
as you can.
Super, so, like,
So you did it very slowly, which actually looked real pretty.
It's like that.
But when, in the game, you're going to want to do it, you know, fast for emergency to get out of the way. Your middle finger. Your middle finger, and man.
So you hit the
So-
grip button and then just let go as you
Yes,
touch something.
like that. That's
Oh,
right. So
okay.
you just
Yeah.
and for those of you who weren't here last
I
week,
thought you were punching it without gripping it.
no. So it's just like a very fast
Same.
grab, throw,
Yeah,
grab,
yeah,
throw. But it's
yeah.
really not a grab. You're really popping it. And here's another thing. You weren't here last week, but fly toward me and don't grab me or anything. I want to show you. You can do the same thing. Come toward me. You can also do that with
Oh.
popping off
Did-
people.
So did you just
So sometimes I'll slap people, I'll punch them when I do that. Other times, like there, you did it to me too, so we didn't bounce backwards.
Right.
But you can learn how to use that so that you get an advantage because you're going back toward the other end where you want to be, and you're dead.
Right.
You're killing your enemy. So
Can
that's
you also pull
slapping.
through?
My point is, slapping is real
Need to try.
important regardless of how you're using it. I would practice bouncing off stuff in the lobbies when you can.
I like when you need to pass someone, you're holding their legs and you just go through and punch them right there.
Right. Yeah, punch boost.
I love that.
What was your question, Max?
So I have problems flying and throwing. Like when
At
I'm
the same
drifting
time?
like that,
Right?
I never get the right angle.
Okay,
Like,
so that's going to be
in
about...
my mind it'll go straight, but it
Right.
goes totally across.
Yeah,
the
that's
map.
going to be
well,
totally
so-
about physics. So you have to
yeah.
realize in zero gravity that the disc is still... You and the disc are still floating as you go. So throw that to me, Lynn, just a second. So...
You have to like throw it
Yes.
to counteract
Yeah,
your
so if I'm
momentum.
going this way and I want the disc to go that way, I can't throw it straight. I have to like throw it extra back that way because it's going to be floating. And another thing to think about with that is this is real important. And regarding his question, in the game, you don't ever really hardly ever want to go where the disc is going right now. So like if the disc is going, let's see, let me try to give you an example. All right, so let's say that the disc hits a wall and it's going to bounce off and it's really far. Like, don't grab this catnip, just wait a second. So let's say the disc is going right over there. We're not going to fly right there to the top of that wall. We're going to fly right there where he just flew to, because we already know that the disc is going to bounce. So there's no reason to fly up there, because if he had flown up there, you know what he's going to have to do? He's then going to have to bounce down and fly to chase it. You don't want to chase the disc in the game because it's always going to be too slow. So one thing you always want to do is, Max, in regards to your question, physics. Think where it's going to go, where it's going to end up, not where it is right that second. So that's really important to get used to.
Look at me, I'm laying down.
Does that make sense?
You get something?
Okay, all right, guys, let's go over here, everybody, and just stay right here. Hang out on this shield for just a second. The glass shield.
I can't. I don't have any boost.
Okay. All right. Now, I'm going to go over just only a tiny bit of goalie stuff, because I'm actually going to let Dash do that. I'm just going to do general comments, and then let him talk to you about some specific stuff. There are a couple of things. One is, when you're playing goalie, I personally would not recommend holding on here and playing goalie back here, okay? And the reason for that is because, especially with ping, if somebody throws the disc, like let's say Max, throw the disc into the goal here. If you're throwing the disc this way, even if I see that coming, if he had thrown that faster, it would have gotten here before I had been able to reach out here. It might have still registered. You see what I'm saying? So it's important, if you're going to play goalie, don't play behind it. Play a little bit in front of it. Or you can also use, that's what all these blocks are for right here. Okay? That's another reason it's important to bounce off. Learn how to do that bouncing, because you're going to be bouncing back and forth to different areas you need to here. And so that's one general comment. Don't play back here. Play in front of the goal. People choose different positions as goalies. Some choose down here. Some choose up here. That's just going to be your personal thing. Another thing, don't forget, let's say that you get the disc and you save it. You save the goal and you clear it to the other end. Well, let's say something happens to one of your teammates and they need your help. One thing you can do, remember this is your goal, so this would actually be orange. You can come right here, fly into your tunnel real quick, and boost right over there to help your teammates. Okay, because you're also, when you play midfield, you're generally going to play goalie and midfield. So don't forget that you can use your launch tunnel. No, so come over here, Max, come over here. Or one of you, fly in there and launch out. See that? You can launch during any time in game. If you need a speed boost, all you have to do is come over here and launch out. Okay?
Grab onto me. Oh,
no! All right, another thing.
Players being late to get out and they were stuck in there.
That's if there's a goal made. So if there's a goal already made, then it locks at the end of that round. So once the goal is made, it locks and it locks.
Yeah, I remember last time I forget who it was, but it was one of the lower levels.
Yeah, they'll fly in there.
He was trying to grab onto you, and they made a goal, and he was stuck.
Yeah, right. Right.
He didn't even get to get out yet.
Okay, another thing about launching and getting to the other end quickly. Let's say I'm the goalie, and these two guys are my teammates right here. Well, let's say that they just blocked that. So throw that over this way, Linz. So we just blocked it. Colombian, Catnip, one of us clears it. We throw it. Oh, just let it go. Don't worry about it. Just let it go. Then look, we're all three right here. Another thing that you want to do as goalie, it's your responsibility to watch the goal, but it's also your responsibility to help your teammates. So those two are going to come to me. Those two guys, Neon and Catnip, are going to come to me, and I'm going to do this.
Oh.
Alright, I'm going to give them a boost, you see that, to the other end real quick, and then I'm coming back to my position. So that way they actually have speed to the other end. Now you guys, at the levels you're at, the skills that we're showing you tonight, if you do some of that stuff, they're going to think you're gods in the game, because most people at like level, say, 20 and below aren't going to be doing that stuff yet.
Can we try that again? Because I went way too fast.
Yeah, but isn't that great? Okay, so let's say that we just blocked the goal. We just blocked it. We just cleared it. Now you grab me. Are you on? Okay, so now I pull through here. Now pull through.
I let go.
Oh, you let go? And this is, we practiced this before. Okay, grab me.
Okay.
Alright, so you're going to pull through me. Pull through, straight through. Right, and then we're going to pull through again. And that gives you the re-grab boost. Or that gives you the boost and then you can re-grab, okay? So that's another thing about that. So launching out of these, use that. Make sure you use, as the goalie, use your speed to help your teammates get to the other end. That's the second thing. And then Dash is going to go over specific stuff more about that. The next thing is midfield. So if you're playing goalie, typically you do not want to just sit in that goal, because a lot of lower levels, they'll say, I'm playing goalie. And then they sit right here. And all this stuff's happening down there. And what are they doing? They're still sitting here. And then they sit here and sit here. And then finally the other team gets here. And then they make a goal. And it's like, well, they're basically being useless. Totally useless. So what you need to do, if you're going to play goalie, that's awesome. But you also need to be able to know when to come forward. So let's say right now, let's pretend that we're on the other end. This is my team now is orange, and so we just switched the ends. I'm trying to make a goal on this end, okay? So if I'm goalie back here on orange, and I see all of you people down here playing, let's say my orange guys are down there trying to get a goal. Well, what if they're struggling and they really just can't get a goal? At that point in time, I probably want to come up and help them. Normally that goalie stays goalie midfield, but there are occasions when you want to come up and help your teammates. I'm not saying you want to come this far, but most goalie midfielders, the best, will at least come up to here. Because let's say that the blue team steals the disc from him. So clear it, Catnip. Let's say they stole it. Well, then I'm going to have to get that. And I'm here. Now the blue team is coming toward me. Meanwhile, I'm going to clear it back down there. Well, that wasn't a very good clear, but you get the idea. I'm going to clear it back down there to the other end, okay? So the point there is, be aware of where all your team members are and make sure you're always ready to help them, as opposed to just sitting on the goal, which is good when you're blocking goals, but it's not good if you're not helping your team when they need you, okay?
Where the hell am I in my room?
I gotta go real quick up here.
Me too.
Okay. All right. If you don't leave, it should still be there, Neon.
Yeah.
Alright,
you
so
saying
that's-
it's to be a
Don't do what I
goalie
do.
at all times?
Get ready for the epic
No.
spaz.
I'm not saying there
ready
should
for
be a
the
goalie
epic
at
Rick
all
roll.
times, but especially in the higher level matches, they pretty much have to have a goalie at all times, because, or a goalie midfielder, because the matches are just so intense, and
I hope my game doesn't crash.
people are just, they score really well, you know, you can score from the other end and stuff. Like, people are very good 3-point shooters and stuff. With that in mind, though, one thing to think about is if you choose not to have a goalie at all times, it's very, very important that your team work together and boost and regrab. Now, remember we showed, I don't know if you saw that, but we showed that last week. Who here does not know how to boost and regrab? Okay, so let's do that real quick. What we're going to do is, everybody grab my back. Just grab my back, all of you. What we're going to do is, when I say go, you're all going to pull forth and go the other end. When I don't go anywhere else. Stay at the other end, and we're going to go back and forth, just back and forth a few minutes. All right, pull through, pull through, pull through.
Oh God,
I
I
could never get the second
Alright.
grab.
Let's try it again. You're going to have to grab me, though, but go as straight through as you can. Don't go astray. Don't go after the side or anything. Okay, ready? Yeah.
Whenever I pull through someone and then they pull through me again, I could never re-grab them again.
Okay, just keep your auto grip on. Keep that middle finger on. You gonna come? Come here, Catnip. Alright, nope, come over here. You're gonna mess this up. We're gonna
I
accidentally
feel like
grab you.
this looks ridiculous.
Alright, let's go.
Someone
Go.
needs
Pull
to-
through, straight through, pull, pull, pull.
No.
There you go, there you go. That's
missed
it. That was good. Did most of you get it that time though? Did you feel it?
No.
I can never,
kinda.
no
Okay,
matter
let's do it a
how
little
hard
slower for you two. Alright, grab onto me.
I cannot get the second
Yeah.
grab. Never.
It's a little bit chaotic with all fucking
Yeah.
freaking 20 of us.
All 20 of
It's
it.
like,
Alright, I'm gonna go a little
after
slower,
the
pull
third
straight
guy,
through.
they're
Okay, ready?
they're going 1,000.
Pull through.
degrees.
Pull through. Oh, look, you're doing it. You're doing it. Okay, you two got it. Photo, grab me. I'm going to let you do it again.
Alright, come.
All right, now pull straight through me. Straight through.
Keep going off at an angle.
Did you? Okay. Yeah, so I'm going to come back to you. You're going to try it again.
It's so difficult.
Grab me. Pull straight through. There you go. Yeah, I see what you're doing. Okay, I think I see what you're doing, Photo. You're doing this. When you pull, let me grab you, Max. When you pull off, you're using your hand and pushing yourself like that, it looks like. It looks like you're doing this motion. So I would recommend for all of you, when you do a pull through for a regrab, do this instead. Watch. This motion, not this motion. Do you see the difference? Because when you do this motion, you're, watch this. Hold on a second.
Can you do that one more time?
When I throw off catnip this way, I'm going above him. If I throw off of him, let's boost over there. Let's boost just slowly that way. If I do this motion, like that, like this, it's easier to regrab, okay? That's another thing you can do in the launch tubes too. It's a little easier to regrab people if you do this as opposed to this. Okay, so, all right, let me see what time it is. Hold on a second.
Yeah, I can never, no matter how hard I try, get the second grab.
We're gonna go back into our tunnels and do a match. We're gonna start a match, but just because Dash is gonna be here,
unfair.
Dash is gonna be here in a few minutes, and what I want you guys to do. Who do we have here? I will switch to the. Nah, I will just keep it like this. It's fine. We have 3 and you guys have like a bunch. So what I want you guys to do though is, who wants to be on the blue team? Who wants to be goalie?
I'll be goalie.
I can be.
All right, listen, I tell you what, let's do this. We're not trying to score. We're not trying to play or compete. Take turns being goalie. So Max, start out as goalie, and then just do goalie, and then like every 30 seconds or so, minute, switch. Okay, so we're just going to go down to your end and let you guys practice being goalie. And then the rest of you, whoever's not goalie that time, try to get the disc out. All right, let's go. Make sure you press team ready, you guys.
Hey, what up, guys? Let's all boost together.
Oh no.
They're boosting together. That's funny.
Orange team ready.
With the disc throwing, I think it's just what people prefer, because I saw
Oh, for
low
sure.
level.
Yeah.
He was
for
throwing
sure.
it like really accurately with Frisbee, and I was like, how do you do that? I can't even. Like,
Yeah,
go
they
so
can
fast.
for sure. I just think like if they ask, it's good to recommend the overhand, but honestly, it doesn't really matter.
Alright, what are we doing? Sorry, I just got back. What's happening?
It's okay. So Neon, what we're gonna do is we're gonna kind of play around with a disc, and I'm gonna let you practice goalie. So come on out. If you're goalie, a lot of times you'll want to be the first to go. Do you know how to launch out there? Hey guys, remember, don't make it go. Remember, don't actually score it.
It was at that moment that I hated you. Hey,
Oh, bully.
All right, so
went too
punch
quick.
him and steal it. Nice. Get cleared out.
Wait.
You guys get together for your boost. Get together and boost down there. You're offline separately.
Hey, Photo, boost me, B.
Jesus.
Boost me, baby.
Why are you upside down?
I'm not gonna punch you.
Why are you so much upside down?
Oh, I just broke my controller a little bit. Oh, yeah, no, totally missed that.
Yeah, let's try to avoid punching in this lesson, just so that everybody can focus on
She says avoid punching.
focus on boosting and regrabbing. You guys are offline separately. There you go. That's the way to do it.
No.
There you go, Unman.
no.
Nice.
me
Nice.
Grab.
Good. Now, you
give me
just
time.
did exactly what is one of the
Use the center
problems
block.
with these blocks. Did you go down there to get the disc and you accidentally grabbed this instead?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
so
went-
you
I
guys
think
be
I, like,
aware of
reached up
that.
and
You have to
did
kind of avoid those when you're grabbing. Yeah, it's pretty common, Neon.
Took a tiny loss.
It's one of the hardest things to get used to be quite honest.
11, 10,
Alright,
I'm
so
sorry, I didn't mean to keep pushing them all.
be twice. Why don't you be QB? Why don't you do QB? Where'd Neon go?
I'm in 2. Cause
Oh, okay,
I-
so yeah, go straight out. Go straight out to goal.
Wow, you cannot grab onto things when you're going that fast, huh?
Oh, yeah. No.
Okay, now look, you two need to talk. You've got
Oh, no,
people
I
beside
gotta
each
wait
other
for
to boost.
goal,
So you
no.
turn around and grab him, man. You would turn around and grab him. Remember, guys, when you're boosting, the person in front is going to turn around, grab the person behind them, and pull through for that boost, okay?
You throw it like that.
All right, Cass.
Yeah.
I just kind of threw it.
All right, I got that.
All right,
I'm
let's
gonna start
go.
doing that. I'm gonna start doing.
14,
All Alright, Neon needs to. Neon, you're gonna go first, okay? So if you're gonna be goalie, one thing you can do is you will boost us out, smash yourself right there into that little thing and stop. You're gonna stop. Yeah, let's try not to score, guys. Alright, throw it, clear it. Good. That was better. You clear it? You guys are holding on better this time. It looked like you had that. That was good. I'll give you a boost. Go. I was giving you a boost. Alright, ready, Lens? Boost off me. I'm gonna go that way so you can grab me. Ready? Grab me.
Oh crap!
Oh no! I punched my wall.
Yeah, Max, get back up in your spot here. Hurry. There you go. Good job.
I can't see these little cubes. I can't even see them.
You can't? You can see them here. Yeah, you can see them.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Yeah, I can
just
hardly
be
even
careful
see
you
them.
don't accidentally grab them when you're trying to get the disc and keep it out, okay? Because they're
Yeah.
gonna bring it back here.
It's my natural reaction to punch a different color. Like the different color team.
All right. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Oh, that was nice. That was a good one. All right, now Lens, turn around, pull through. Lens, grab him.
No, he got a boost off me.
Here, Lens, you can grab me. Grab me.
I threw it.
Grab me. And punch me as you go by. See, you're gonna want to. You guys are gonna want to. If you're on blue, you need to punch me, grab that disc, throw it, and get out of the way. Yeah, don't let me have that disc. Oh, clear it! Nice job, Leon. That was it. Good job.
Out of here.
Throw.
Good job. Yeah, that's good. You guys are doing better now.
By the way, when I started screaming like a whale, I slipped and
Alright, I'm
fell.
gonna let you boost off me, Leon's ready.
Damn it, I missed.
Oh, get back and go, Max. Or clear it.
He's on me.
Good job. That was a good clear. That was actually about as perfect as clear as you can get. I think it might go in. That almost went in, Lens.
Oh no.
Punch him. There you go. Good job.
Hell no. Let's go back to play close up.
Alright, Photo, I'm gonna give you a boost here. Grab me. There you go.
Nice.
Yeah, watch out
forgot
there.
that
Make
doesn't
sure
go
you
through.
don't accidentally hit the glass. I did that one time in a competitive match. I threw it into the glass and it bounced back and scored the other team a goal. It's so embarrassing.
Main goal. Gonna stop the ball. At least try.
Alright,
You know, they got 2 level
Suck at
50s
this,
before.
though.
here we go.
No, I will get you. No, nice. No. Oh, I just got pulled away.
Let's go.
Alright,
Hey, unnamed.
good. Lens, I'm behind you if you want to
Oh,
grab me.
yeah.
Bounce off. You can turn around and grab me. Yeah, always try to look for somebody to bounce off of.
Yo,
or
unnamed
boost
behind you.
off of. There you go. Pull through me and punch me as you go.
Oh, Dad's gonna fucking kill me.
Punch him.
Oh, I'm fucking dead.
Alright, watch this. Oh, pass, catnip. Go.
Why are you behind me?
Go. Always know where everybody is, okay? You guys are watching in front of you well, but remember, we can very easily get it behind you too, or an enemy will try to do that. There you go. Good job, you guys.
Hey.
Neon, you made a nice save there. All right, let's see. We have 2 to see. Next go wins.
In 15, 14.
Oh.
All right, guys, down here in overtime, you want to go back to
I
launch
can't believe I just
2.
did that. Wow.
Neon, you're gonna stay there. It's okay.
Yeah.
I've never done that.
All right, let's see. You guys better punch them. Look, get him.
Oh, failure. Major fail.
What?
You'll be goalie.
Oh.
Why is it this?
Yeah, clear it as soon as you can get it. As soon as you can get it, Max.
Oh, I hate when people just fly around with the disc. They get
Clear it.
Alright, give me a boosty boost, Daddy.
Intercepted.
That sounded weird. I don't know what you mean. Lean sink.
I wasn't gonna say anything, but. All right, you guys left your goal open. Left your goal open. Left your goal open.
It was so close.
Yeah, but hey, you guys got back quickly. I was impressed. I went ahead and scored that because Dash is coming in now, and he's one of the best goalies in the game. Okay, so I'll introduce him, and I'm gonna let him teach you guys
I'd
some
say
goalie
Easton's
stuff.
pretty good.
Yeah, there's some really good
I haven't
goalies in
seen
here.
Dash play goalie
So
though.
hang out
Pretty
just
sure I
a
only seen him
second.
boost back and do
Orange
it.
takes the win.
Let me see if he's here yet. Yep, he is. So he'll come out here.
All right, so you're
Yes,
Lens.
sir.
All right, I'm sorry
Which
for calling you
team is
daddy. Give me 5.
All right,
That's no
Dash, are you
problem,
in
he
here?
says.
Okay, guys. So.
Unstoppable. I've never seen this before.
I feel bad now.
I've never seen that.
So many of them.
All right, guys, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put us back in the match, and then don't press ready. Don't press ready. We're just going to come back into the lobby, and Dash is going to do what back into the arena. He's going to do what I was doing in the beginning, but Dash is one of the best goalies in the game, so I wanted him to go over
What's up,
other
Well, here are all the
goalies.
level
Take your
50s
way.
on the red team.
Yeah,
We're gonna get riggedy wrecked.
Oh,
it's
boy.
by design.
Dash is
All
my
right.
dad.
I met Dash. I don't think you don't have any kids, do you, Dash? You're not old enough to have kids.
No.
Well, I mean, I guess you're old enough to have
Yes,
kids.
I'm
but you just
adopted.
don't have any.
No, don't ready up.
Adopt me into your
Dash, do
family,
you want him
Dash,
down
please.
here at our end? Because you're protecting ours.
Yeah.
Hey, Blue, go ahead and come down here to the orange end. He's going to be as if he were our goalie, okay? He's going to pretend like because he is orange goalie. And that
Alright,
way you
Dash,
guys
let's
can
see
try
it.
to get it past him.
See
He
it,
I
can.
haven't played in like 3 days, dude.
Alright, wait just a second, Dash. We're missing. Let me go get the other Blue
Best
before
in
you
the
start.
game.
Oh, there he is.
Just another
And
one.
personal
Hey, guys, isn't there one more
discord.
Blue?
You totally failed.
Isn't there
I
one more
think
Blue?
there's one more.
Totally missed
Yeah,
that
there is.
personal
He's
disc.
Okay, let me-
back in there.
Let me go tell him to come down.
Hey, who wants to hear? a
Okay,
funny story?
so we're gonna go down the other end, Max. Just go down there, and Dash is gonna teach you on that end, okay?
I'll tell you guys a
Okay.
very funny
I
story.
thought we were readying up.
No,
guys
we're not
ready?
gonna ready.
I was waiting. I was like,
Gather
so
up.
when are they gonna ready up?
Okay, guys, come back here so that you'll be able to see a little bit. Come back here. That'll give him plenty of clear area to be able to talk to you, and then he's gonna do his work from there. Thanks, Dash. Go ahead.
So like whenever you're starting to play goalie, it's just important to always stop the 3-pointer. So if you're ever flying back, just make sure you're always in the way of the goal, and that includes the backboard too. Better players will be able to position their shots in like these pockets to make sure you can't reach it. Like those are where the good players are gonna try to hit it. So that's why it's just important just to kind of always be in the way. Now, the 2-pointers are always going to be difficult. Even at the high level, like, not everybody can stop them. But that's not exactly your job all the time. It's really always stop the 3-pointer. If you're going to stop a 2-pointer, though, my tips are more like, you just need to not be afraid of the guy. If you're afraid of the guy charging you with the disc, then he's always going to beat it. He's always going to beat you. So if you see somebody coming in with a disc, some people are easier to steal if you just wait for them to come close to you and then you can attack them. And some people choke up whenever you attack them, like you just go out there and fight them. So you just gotta play around with them, see what you're most comfortable with. But if you're gonna be standing still in the goal, I'd say always keep your hands close to your chest so you can shield and be able to shoot your hands in every direction. Backboard stuff, so there's like players that just always go backboard, and the more you play with people, the more you'll see like, oh, this guy goes backboard. So I'll have 1 foot behind me, so this is like IRL, you can't really see this, but I'll have 1 foot kind of like behind me, ready to just turn like this so I can get the backboard shot, so go like this. When you backboard shot, I can just slap it like that.
What? I've never seen someone even try a backboard shot.
Yeah, just like a
I've seen a
bank
couple.
where you're just banking
I
it.
see that
Do
couple,
it.
and they're pretty insane when you see them actually
Yeah.
happen in game.
Well, I
Yeah,
did
like
it by
a couple of
accident.
Oh wow.
By accident.
Yeah.
Like, the more you play, the more you realize, like, well, if this guy's just looking at me, Like say there's a goalie, this guy's always gonna look for the shot right here, and you just hit a backboard.
Mm.
You know, you create more angles to shoot from. As an offense guy, you're always looking for a new angle to shoot at. That's why I said like good players will shoot, you know, like low pocket.
I can't even score a
Dan, so I got a
goal as
question.
it is.
Yeah, and
up?
Dash, can I
So
add
how do you
in?
go about?
Oh,
How do you go about those guys that have like a double boost running up to you? They knock you out and they get the goal in. How would you go about that?
Yeah, why don't you show me real quick? What are you
like
doing?
if they're boosting to you and punching you, Court, you
They
talking
go
about?
straight to you. One guy punches you, the other one was holding the disc the whole
Oh,
time.
like
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, like if
So,
they
I'd
stun
say
you,
just-
Dash.
so. I'd say just go ahead and shield like whenever they're like in your face. Just shield, and you might be able to, if you stun the first guy, then you can drop your shield and get ready for this shot. That's how I stop them. Or sometimes, you know, people they'll send one guy like way up there, and only do this if you have room. But they'll send like one guy to stun you, right? And the other guy's just out here, and he sees the goalie get stunned. He's like, "Oh, this is easy," and he'll shoot it. Here, Catnip, why don't you just shoot like a shot from the 3-pointer just to, or one of you guys. I just pretend I'm stunned.
Did you see what he did? Did you guys see what he
He
did?
like did the thing you taught us in the beginning.
He headbutted it. Watch him. Here, do it again, Dash.
So like, I'll
I
just
think they
pretend
saw
like
it.
I'm stunned, right? So the guy's probably thinking, oh, he can just score it easy.
Oh, second, what you can actually
God.
headbutt
Yeah,
it?
you
That's
can
like a
headbutt
what?
this.
Did you just headbutt your desk?
Vasco, did you see me doing that over
Oh
here?
my God,
Headbutt.
What?
I have a
What?
Mac, so
Yeah.
it's not that bad.
Hey, funny story about Matt's. I tried doing it with a sheet literally 20 minutes ago. Not even the last game, and I slipped and fell halfway through the game.
Oh no, a sheet. That's
What kind
terrible.
of mat do you have?
It's called my bed sheets because
Not anymore, I hope.
Yeah, I think I'm
I
like one of those
stand on a
like
mat because my feet get freezing.
Hey, Dash,
those like
can
puzzle
I have
mats.
to stand on a
Dash, do you
seating
care if I add
pad,
in a
but-
couple things real quick to add on what you said? All right, guys, a couple things to add to what he said. One is, it's real important what he was talking about with hitting it with your face mask. People are doing that more just because the people are using more tactics to get into the goal, and so if they stun you, that's good. But make sure you be aware of where your body is in relation to the whole goal, because if you're already here, it's going to be hard for you to do that with a goal with somebody that's throwing the disc in down here. So remember when I told you about being aware of where you are in relation to the goal, not behind it and stuff, because then you have to come out. But if you kind of stay this area and hold on here, then you still can cover all this. So you have to do what is best for you, and also it's going to depend on your height and your arm
Nice
reach.
shot.
So a lot of people don't realize that does matter, especially if you're goalie. The other thing I want to add to what Dash said, he touched on this, but it's real important we were talking about situational awareness last week. It's real important in this game to pay attention to what's going on around you. All of you know that, but if you're ever going to play competitive or advance into higher level, like any kind of tournaments or anything, one thing you definitely want to do is start making mental notes of how people play. Like Dash will tell you right now, yes, I stun a lot. Everybody knows that, and I enjoy doing that. I can tell you Dash is a good goalie. I can tell you who's a good striker, who plays upside down, who's going to bank it off the back. So you're going to want to pay attention to what people's styles are, because especially if you're in goal, that's going to be real important, because Dash is going to know which people are going to come here and grab onto this block and swing it around and throw it in, which people are going to bank it, or which people are going to try to rush him or not rush him, that sort of thing. So he kind of touched on that, but it's very important to pay attention to people's play styles.
Sorry.
Pascal, what do you mean by competitive?
Like, we're going to talk about that next week, but ESL, Esports League. So next week, that's what our lesson is about. Okay, Dash, go ahead. Sorry, I just want to
What,
add
is
that
that
in.
going to be a thing?
So
Well, it already is a thing, but next week, this boot camp is about ESL next week. So it'll be about higher level competitive matches.
Ooh.
Okay,
You know,
Dash.
There's like a program that you follow. Like a whole
Yeah, pretty
Yeah,
much.
yeah, pretty much. I mean, you don't
By the way,
have to,
what's
but
the-
it's helpful.
Oh dang.
So I read something in the Discord about like a program where it's like they train you
Oh,
up
Jesus, he's good.
with like coaches and stuff. Or
Yeah,
something
so
like
I mean,
that.
basically, right now we have the boot camps to help individual players for all levels. So starting at 1 all the way up through 50, and then we're trying to set up. Skits is trying to set up so that actual teams will have experienced CSL players as mentors for that specific team to help the teams play. The teams to actually practice and stuff. Hey Dash, to get back to, but we can talk about that next week, but one thing to get back to the goalie midfield stuff, Dash, I want you to give them your thoughts on this because mine were probably different than what yours are going to be, but I was talking to them about how a lot of goalies will just literally stay in the goal nonstop and they don't ever want to leave that position. Like they don't even move in the 3-point bubble, but especially if their teammates need a boost to the other end, or if they see that people are struggling in the mid area and stuff, their teammates, what are your thoughts on helping, like give them a boost back or helping up a little bit midfield? What are your thoughts on that? And if you don't think that the goalie should do that at all, then could you offer any tips on midfield play? Either way.
Yeah, so like the better you get at the game, the more positions you're gonna have to play. Like you can't just be goalie, you just can't be striker or just be midfielder. So it's good to like practice that if you're playing pubs or with your friends. That if you're gonna be like the goalie person, don't just stay in the goal because it's really hard for your teammates to win a 2v3 out there. So yeah, your job is to block the 3-pointers. But
Max.
if you wanna win,
throw me that.
huh? Oh. If you wanna win, then you're gonna have to help out your teammates. So just like you'll move with your teammates, slowly start moving up. You'll go to the midfield and you guys can stay on that end. So I'll pretend like that was my goal and I'm the midfielder, kind of. If your teammates have already left you and you have like no way to boost with them, then yeah, you can probably just, chill out over here, maybe wait for a clear. If you see them recover the disc off a save and, like your teammates pressuring them, they're just going to clear, right? So you can probably see where your teammates are pressuring them from. So if they're pressuring them from this left side, then maybe they think, hey, this side is open, I can clear it this way, but no, you're going to be there. So just kind of be able to like read the situation, maybe position closer to cut off a clear. And if you don't get the clear, what's that?
Oh, I was wondering, isn't it better to stay in the middle so that you can get all sides? Or
No, they'll clear it way faster than you can get over there. So you have to kind of choose a side.
Yeah.
Right.
But like if you like stay behind these blocks, they might not see you, so you can sneak. If they don't see you, then they might think that this is open, and then you can just like kind of swoop in.
Linz, the benefit to that is the benefit to being here as opposed to in the middle. First of all, in the middle, they can see you, and you also have less stuff to grab. And most people boost through the tunnels on the sides. So if the enemy team is if the enemy team is boosting through here, and I'm right here, or if somebody's in this area or anywhere here, like he was saying, where you're hidden a little bit, then you can see them coming, push yourself over here, grab onto them, stun them, and then you've already got an extra boost too. So generally, it's better just to kind of use these as your assets. Use them to your advantage.
all right.
As a final like
We are
closing point
completely on
for
the sink right now, right? So we go.
for like the midfield, if a disc gets past you, don't just like chase it unless it's bouncing like right here. I wouldn't recommend chasing it. I think the most important thing is boosting. So if you're out here, the disc gets past you, then just kind of like dance around, try to find your teammate, the one that's not going to get stunned, and just start boosting. Because I think that's your job as a midfielder, is to provide support rather than trying to like catch everything.
Yeah, because remember, you've
like-
got two other teammates that should be down at the other end. They should be. Your job is to stay on your end of the arena, and their job is to try to get a goal on the other end of the arena. So if you go chasing it to the other end and get out of your position, then you're hurting your team. You're hurting your team overall.
Yeah, moving up is really important. So if you're just not doing anything back here, and your teammates need like a pass, the back pass is probably the strongest thing in the game, I think. besides boosting, a back pass is really strong. So if you're just down here and your teammates, they can't go in any further or else they're just going to get stunned. You say like, hey, I'm here for a back pass. And they'll just throw it back here. And now you're like, kind of like the point guard in basketball. So you're going to just dribble it up. And now somebody has to either come for you and leave your pass wide open, so then you have a pass. Or if they don't go for you, then you can just walk it up yourself and score. Because no one's going to leave the goal if they're on this side, like right here. Like if that guy leaves the goal, you can get it a 3, and he's not going to do that. So somebody has to go for you, and as soon as somebody does, you have a pass to one of your teammates.
All right, so I got another question.
What's
What
up?
is like the main intention of this like half pipe thing?
This?
Yeah, like
Because you can.
I've seen people just throw it down here and they're like, what is this meant for? Like, what are you supposed to do with this?
You can actually do a lot with this. I'm not that great at using it, but people can shoot with this. So like,
I've done it before.
Yeah, you can get it off the joust or off a pass. You can throw it and it'll actually bounce off the backboard and go into the goal. Or depending on where you throw it for it. Yeah, you can actually, it'll curve up, come around. I used to be really, really good at those. I don't do them as much anymore. But you can swirl that around, it'll hit right here and bounce straight into the goal. So that's
So,
one
like,
good
if
thing
you
for
throw,
it.
like a fast, perfect one, it'll just automatic shot.
Yes, yes, basically. So you can do that off the joust, and you can do it from any time, but especially in the joust. You can also do the same thing up here. You can throw it if you hit. It's like Dash, isn't it right here? Is it here? Or
what's
here?
that?
The point. It's one of these points right here, but I can't remember. I
I
think
don't
it
really
might
shoot
be right
it, so
here.
I wouldn't know. But
Yeah.
I mean, if anything, they're pretty good for a clear. Like if you hit it
Yeah.
right, then you can clear the disc. So, I mean, I think you just have to keep on using them and see what kind of works for you. Like I don't
Yeah.
use them. Maybe I should, but
Yeah, I use them quite a bit because I like seeing them curve
they're,
around.
Oh, frick.
They're a
they're
good way to
for
throw them
passes
to
if you know
people.
the geometry.
Yeah, and they're good for if you want to, like, let's say you're right there and you're an enemy. Let's say this guy's an enemy and I'm right there and I have a teammate down there where Catnip is. Then I'll use these a lot to take this, like he's right there. I don't want to throw it this way because that's a close shot to him. So I might just come up here and curve it around. Well, Catnip can go over there and go ahead and get that as it comes down. So it's a really, and I didn't throw that very fast. Bear in mind that was a very slow throw, but if you throw it real fast and you chuck it, same thing if you do it down there. I don't pass it as much on the bottom one. I score with the bottom one, but on the top one I pass it. And one thing I wanted to mention, Dash probably isn't going to say this, but the best goalies in the game, in my opinion, are also some of the best scorers from the tunnel areas there. The little middle areas on the sides.
People
So-
can score from that far?
Yeah, for sure. And so if you're a goalie and you also have to go play midfield, remember how I told you he has to hang out in the mid area sometimes? So if they do that and that other person, the other goalie, gets out of their goal, you want to, as a goalie, be good at those long shots because probably that's the only shot you're going to be doing much are those long shots. And you can practice those, and he is very good at those. Several of the best goalies are good at them. So that's something if you want to be a goalie. See where he is right now? I would practice shots from that area if you're a goalie.
Oh man, why am I?
I'm like out of practice now, but I
Yeah.
used to be able to make them.
Tomorrow, so I'm set till
Okay.
11.
Oh, it's because I've been
So
awake
in the
since
goal from this
4:30 a.m.
Yeah.
What the
Yeah,
heck
you
am I
can
supposed to
you
do
can
now?
score from here. You just bank it or throw it straight in. So. All right, Dash. What else can you think of for this?
I mean, I'm just saying, like,
Do you do the combat?
like just boosting, passing, back passing are huge things. Try to stop
And-
all the threes you can, and just don't be scared playing goalie. That's probably my best tips right there.
Yeah, that's great. I think those are good. All right. Well, I think that was really good. And you probably, this isn't really your choice, but you probably don't want to play goalie if you have really bad ping because it's hard to get the disc if it's already in the goal before you realize it's being thrown toward the goal. And
Either that or bad reaction time.
yeah, or if you're, like, yeah, if you have really bad reflexes or something. So that's something to think about. And then making sure that as you guys go up in rank, just trying to pass on what we're teaching, especially boosting and regrabbing, because going around the arena, boosting and regrabbing is the fastest way. Hey, since Dash is here, Dash, can you come up here real quick? Catnip, are you still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right, let's do this real quick down and back to show them, because this is what I was trying to show you guys a minute ago.
Nope, chill up.
Here, we'll come back. I'll come back for you. So
Yeah, I got you.
if you turn around and go back, that person's the one that grabs. Otherwise, the person that turns around goes, okay, ready?
I can never.
All right, let's go back. Here we go. Okay, ready? Go.
Sure.
All right, watch, guys. Here we come. See how fast that is? Did you guys see how fast that is? And you just keep flicking it like that. Just keep doing that flick like that. It's amazingly fast when you can do that with teams. So pass that on to others and show them that. One thing I will tell you is, don't grab on and hold on. Do it quickly and start getting used to doing it fast. Because if you grab on and that you're holding on to that person and they're expecting you to go through, sometimes they'll already be ready for the regrab, and right there you end up killing the boost because you're not doing it quickly enough. So that's a good thing to practice. But
Yeah, that's a bit of a bug.
So with Gully,
If I could punch you right now, I would.
Rosie as a
I don't
goalie,
know why, but
and she said like, so this is an anchor shots worth thing. On this, is it preferred to use the block in the middle or just no block at all and try and get around?
Oh, you mean trying to score?
No, while you're being goalie, like on the middle block. Is it better to use the block to move around, or just lean?
to hold on to it in game, or to move in real life?
Some people use the block and actually do pretty good goalie just by like having one hand on the block and reaching around like that. I do better just by, free floating, leaning, moving in my space.
Another thing, when this is an anchor shots rare thing, I don't know if they still are, but is it like, if somebody's that close for a 2-pointer, do you always want to have your hands like at the ready, or like where should I place them if they're getting ready for a 2-pointer on me?
See, this is like kind of whenever it gets like really like technical, so it's kind of hard for me to tell you that, but I'd say like, like I keep my hands near my chest, just in case like if I hear somebody come from behind me, I can shield, or like, it's just like shooting out my hands from like the center of my body is just really easy because I can go anywhere I want.
Yeah, you don't have to go that far up, Beatrice. Like a lot of people think you need to shield up here. You can just shield right here.
Shield under your chin.
Yeah, right chin level.
Yeah, you can actually do it from pretty low. Like I'm at my chest right now.
Not even, I can do it from like right here.
Yeah.
That's my
Yeah, that's where I
But
shield.
I'm fat, so that doesn't count.
All right, guys. Well, I think with goalie, another main thing is, it's just like everything else, you have to practice, practice, practice. So let's go back again. And this time, it doesn't really matter what teams we're on because, it just doesn't matter. We're mostly trying to take turns as goalies. So we'll go ahead and keep this. Dash, do you want to stay while we do a round, or do you need to go practice?
Sorry.
I'll see if they need me.
Okay, if you want to
stay
stay for a round, then Catnip, do you want to practice as goalie this time and let Dash stay right by you and give you some tips? That way he can watch you and might be able to advise you personally, okay? So Dash, if you are able to come in, just go by Catnip and he can be goalie this time. Neon, I'm going to work with you on boosting to the other end, okay?
Deja vu. Hey,
Pasco.
Catnip. Do you still play Rust though?
Yeah.
So do you do the
I'm
combat
1,000 hours.
training?
Yes, and I have help
I
though.
went from like playing.
But yeah, you're welcome to come on Wednesday.
Yeah, I just bought it.
Getting VR and I haven't touched it since.
Dude, I fucking love VR now. Like, since I got it last year.
All right, Neon.
Amazing time.
So, Neon,
What am I doing?
you saw how to, like if you're in front of me, you turn around, grab me now, swing around, pull through. Now you fly up there. We're going to be practicing that this time, just letting you boost and re-grab,
No,
okay?
she said if you're gonna stick around something.
Yeah, I said, why don't you be goalie, Catnip, and let Dash practice, let him watch you practice.
What are you practicing for, by the way, Dash?
I'm not,
Oh shoot,
punching, by the way.
What?
Getting some games in, you know.
First.
For that tourney happening
You
soon.
need a goalie.
Yeah, actually, but it was more just like I've been flapping like
Alright, Port. I'm not punching you guys, but make sure you listen for me to grab you. You should be putting your shields up.
Playing with us, and now we're just like, yo, I give up. The match that we were against you guys.
If somebody's juking around on the floor like that, Blue, if he's doing that, the best thing you can do is just punch him. Go in as a group and punch him.
I wouldn't bother kind of punch out the
Oh,
goalie.
why is like my controller not
I
grabbing?
think if you don't get him,
It has to, you
Ready?
you just
Yep.
kind of leave him alone.
Yeah, who is it? Can't hear. Ready? You twice. Pass. And there you go. Nice job. Nice job. Max, I don't think there was any way you could have stopped that, okay?
Yeah.
So you're doing a good job. Don't get
I was gonna
discouraged with
steal out
that.
of his hand.
Yeah, I'll ask Dash about a recommendation on that, maybe.
Maybe I could like fly out and steal it like mid-throw.
Alright, boys.
Alright, so Haskell, you said. So I'm supposed to just like reach over my shoulders and re-grab you? Is that what
No,
you said?
you don't reach over your shoulder. If you're in front, here, this time I'll let them play. I'll come show you how to do it. Just hold on a second. So grab his back. Now pull off. Now I'm gonna pull through you. Grab me with auto grab. There you go. See that?
Okay.
Now,
yeah, I just, like, last
you're
time
flying
it was-
that way. Now you turn around and grab me. If you're in front of me, you fly back to me, grab me.
Crap, that was fast.
Now you pull through me, and then I re-grab, and then we both do it. Yeah. So if you're the person in front turns around, like right now. I turn around, grab you, and then you go.
Photo. No, it's you because I'm not holding the grab button while you were doing it.
Nice punch. Sorry, I said I wasn't going to do that.
It's like a little hair where my nose is, and it's slightly annoying.
You have a nose hair? Or a hair up by your nose piece?
Oh no, my dog probably.
I
came in
started
my
to
room.
say, is that not the most annoying thing? Alright, be twice, you ready?
Oh, I hate
It
when like people's hair gets stuck in your mouth and it tickles your nose.
Throw.
Like your whole face. It bugs me so much.
Okay, I'm gonna grab you. No, so if I turn around, I grab you. Now it's okay, I'm gonna pull through. Now you grab me. Nice job.
Oh, game just.
Alright, ready? Oh, I was gonna give you a boost, Photo. Grab me. I'll give you a boost down there. Go. Now, you want to make sure you pull through the
My hand
middle
was
instead of
completely
bouncing
out of
off,
the
because then
way.
I can't re-grab. You better hurry, Max.
What the
He's above
heck?
you. Punch him. There you go. Now clear it. And don't blind clear it, okay? Make sure you clear it with intention. So, like, clear it through one of the tunnels or high or low.
Who just said pork?
That's good, I'm sorry.
Oh, good job.
Yo, behind you, Photo. Behind you. Alright, boost me, B.
Oh, good job, Neon. Good. I'm coming back for you.
Alright, should I start playing more aggressively?
There you go. Nice job. Nice.
SGA.
Interception.
So you, Blue, you guys probably need to go at him with twos, like rush him, because you have a pretty big team. So go together and try. One of you punch him, and one of you, yeah, like you don't want to throw him that far away with a goalie. Probably. Go.
Yo, Photo, behind you,
Grab me, Photo. Grab me.
Photo, please.
Oh Jesus.
You protected it, Max. You protected it.
I tried.
Oh, nice job. Good job.
I just got pulled.
There you go. There you go. Come on, go.
Costco throwing the match confirmed.
Yeah. All right, here I come, Max. Here I come. Oh, nice job. Nice job.
I heard that point. What do you mean?
Alright, Neon, we're gonna do it again. Ready? Keep going. And grab.
This is one of those points where you give your goalie a
Good. And you can push yourself downward and stuff. Like that. Alright, so you need to try to punch some limbs. Good job. Alright, where's Blue? You guys get down here. Boost down here and I'll try to throw it to you. There you go. A good job, you guys.
This round is over. Orange has it this time.
Alright, guys, I think you're ready to go practice that. This one's a little shorter tonight because mainly with the goalie and the midfield stuff, you need to have your tips and know kind of what to do. But beyond that, it's just a matter of practicing it. So, do you guys, before I go back to lobby, do you have any questions for Dash?
Not
or
really.
me?
Get in a team.
Are you talking about an ESL team? Like to
Just
practice
in
with?
general, a team.
I think
Just
right
for
now
some
at level 21,
publics.
I probably wouldn't recommend it. This is what I would recommend at this level.
was a level
For all of you guys,
Who
I would
asked about a
recommend
team?
that you play a lot, make friends, find people you like to play with and like their play styles, and then start thinking about who you might like to be in a team with. I wouldn't necessarily join a team yet, but next week we'll talk about teams and stuff more. And I think that at this stage it's more a matter of just seeing kind of who you mesh well with, and so that's good. Do you guys have any other questions?
Not really.
Dash, did you have anything else to add based on the play you saw?
I'm trying to call out whenever like you're passing, like passes are really important. Probably can't say that enough. Passing and boosting. So if you're gonna like, instead of like instantly trying to clear it, try to see if any of your teammates are open, and teammates that can get open, you know, say like, hey, I'm open, you know, wherever. You know, like, I don't know if you guys know the names of the blocks, but you'll probably figure them out as you keep on playing. It'd be like really helpful if you're just like out here, no one's around you, and you say, hey, look, I'm on this wall, I'm like wide open, and making that pass, like that's important.
Yeah, and the names of the blocks, we didn't actually go over that just because some people call them some different things, but I do believe that there's a video that some of these, like, we generally call that the bow tie, the podium, you know, the shield. So there's a video, I think, that I'll try to remember to share that with you guys so that you can kind of have a general idea what most of us call this stuff, even though, you know, there is some variation in that. So that's a good point. Do you know what that video is, Dash? Did you make it, or do you know who did?
No, it might have been Palador. I didn't make that.
I don't think, but I'll check. I'll try to find it for you guys and link to it in the beginners channel. And we did definitely talk about the importance of communication, but some of you weren't here. This game, it's really important to communicate. Just call out and say who's doing what, that sort of thing. So
it's just difficult when you don't know the names. So you're like, hey guy, I will boost off you. Like, which guy? There's like 20 of us in the team.
Yeah,
I normally go by their levels, but most people don't know their levels.
Yeah, that's
Like, I just figured out that I'm a level 15. I thought I was a
I'm
level
gonna leave.
11.
Hey, thanks, Dash.
Bye.
We appreciate you
Have a
coming.
good
Thanks a
one.
lot, Dash.
Poppy Dad.
Yeah,
Goodbye.
have good games, boys.
Yeah, I mean, at least it has the names above, so you can say, like, you know, if right now, if can't hear you's over there, and I'm like, can't hear you, you know, and I'm throwing in the, I've been doing that to you all night, haven't I? Be twice. And so, you know, just kind of be aware. Or like, one thing I always try to do, because I punch people a lot, is I'll try to warn people, so-and-so's on you or whatever, because if you, remember, if you feel someone grabbing you, if you feel that feedback,
I don't feel them.
it's not really physical, it's you
Yeah.
can hear it,
It
but
just
I
sounds
still
really
think
close.
it sounds real to me. But if you hear that, you need to watch and make sure. So if I'm somebody's teammate and I see a blue guy coming up to Neon here, I'm gonna say, like, if I see a blue guy this close to Neon, I'm gonna say, Neon, shield, Because the second they grab him, most likely they're going to do this, okay? So you need to be aware that you can just, there's so much you can do with communication and just talking with your teammates. You guys will really see your games improve when you do some of the tips that you had tonight. What's that, Catnip?
There's something to add on to what you said about the ESL, what team you play with. Pick people that, you don't want to pick them just because they're good unless you're like that kind of person. Pick people that you're compatible with and you get along with, because then you're just gonna have a dysfunctional team and everyone's gonna be young.
Yeah, that's real important.
It's hard.
That's what I was saying. Yeah, that's what I was saying. You don't want to just go get on a team, because you really want to just play, make friends, find people you like, because you're gonna mesh better with some people than others. And when you find the people that you play well with, here's the thing. I tell people all the time, I play with like level 6s, 7s, 8s, whatever. I don't care. I would rather have a lower level player, or a player with a lower win rate that's a team player any day of the week versus a solitary lone ranger out there who doesn't want to play with his team who's a good player. Because if you have somebody who's a team player, they're going to talk to you, they're going to boost with you, they're going to pass to you, they're going to help your whole team overall, versus a lone ranger who eventually that person is going to meet their match and they're going to be beat down in the game because they're not going to be as good as their opponent. Okay, so that's something to bear in mind too about the people you play with. And as far as meshing well, if you do start looking for teammates for an actual team, I would recommend that you look for good team players, not just good players.
Yeah, like I can never find people somewhere around my age. Like no one really my age.
How old are you, Max?
I'm 11.
So you're not old enough to do SL yet. You have to be 13. But listen, last year the team that almost took the position from the #1 team in the world was 2 13-year-olds and a 14-year-old. Okay?
Really?
Yep, sure was. So
Wow.
so remember,
They beat you?
No, I wasn't. I don't play on a team anymore. I used to, but I don't anymore. Now I just write about stuff. But
So like, what's the deal with teams?
well, you don't have to worry about it yet because you have to be 13 to be on any of the teams. But you will be able to.
Do you meet up in like real life?
Teams are like
No.
so
Well,
you
sometimes.
friends you
Think
play
of it
with.
like a clan from like another
like a
game.
clan.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Pretty much, if you ever played Rocket League or something like that, don't pick a toxic team that like because they're good, you think it's gonna end up good, and you get into like a tournament and get into the last fucking game and lose.
Somebody
Just
sounds
don't
like
do
a
that.
full experience.
I know. I'm thinking this is beginning to sound like biography here, not a not nonfiction advice.
Totally didn't happen, bro.
Yeah, it didn't happen to anybody here or anything, but you know.
Not me.
That's the way I always give my advice too. Not that it happened to me, of course, but you know. All right, guys. Well, that was a lot of fun. Thanks for coming. I'm actually going to play a little bit tonight, so hopefully I'll run into some of you. And remember to tell people combat is on Wednesday nights at 9, and so hopefully we'll see some of you guys soon. No, well, combat. Listen, I'm glad you said that. Pickup nights are on Tuesday night. That would be an excellent time to practice what we did tonight and the other weeks, because in pickup nights, they're actually private matches. They're actual private matches where we hand pick the teams. So if I know that there's a 50 and a 21, then on the other team I might put a 50 and a 20. I might put me and Lynn's on one team, those two on one team, and Neon and Pork on another team. So we balance out the teams so that it's based on who'll play well together, so that they're very, very perfectly matched and everybody can just have fun. It's not about winning.
So
it's
you're
about
doing
practicing.
that one too?
No, I don't do Tuesday nights. That's my night off. So
Is there
Good job.
actually, I have treatments on Tuesday right now for about 9 hours, so I'm exhausted by Tuesday night. But the Tuesday nights, 9 o'clock Eastern time, that's pickup time. Whit does those, and he does a really good job. So I would recommend you guys come if you can.
Yes, I will try to make it the past 2 weeks. I totally forget about it till the day afterwards.
Yeah.
Oh, I just remembered like 5 minutes after 9. I was like, oh my God, it's on.
And you can join in pickup night late. It's not as bad as boot camps. It's important to be here right when it starts because we kind of go from beginning to end. But pickup nights, it's fine to join a little late. What's up, Linz?
Well, it's currently currently it's 4:30 here in the morning.
So you need to go.
Later.
Well, now, I was wondering if there's like a European thing.
I think
So-
that's every Thursday.
So the Europeans do pickup nights for you at, I think it's 1900 or 1800. I believe it's 1900. But check in the pin notes and Discord lens, and they definitely do pickup nights on Thursday. Okay. So join them on Thursday nights. That'll be a more convenient time for you. But if you do want to come back to any more of these trainings, you're of course always welcome. And just so you guys know, for your purposes, for yourself and others, pass on what you're learning. We want to pass that on. You don't want to keep that knowledge to yourself. There's no reason to do that. And the other thing is, there are always people who are willing to go with you privately. So if you do need help specifically, there are people who do it in EU and North America that will take you into a match and help you with specific stuff if you need it. So just let us know. But otherwise, thanks for coming. You guys did a really good job tonight.
Hey, Lens. Lens.
See you guys later. What's up,
You
Kat?
right now are in the
Who is
time
that
zone
team?
where I've been awake for 24 hours.
Do what?
buddy.
Who's the team? The
Been awake
13-year-old
since
and the
4:30
14-year-old?
a.m.
It was
Kang
Kang,
and
Please,
Ryan.
Kang, Ryan, and
Guys,
Winscoop.
go to bed. Just go to bed.
Windscape?
Winscoop.
No,
Yeah, he hasn't
I
been
have to
playing
finish
now.
the
But
computer.
yeah, they did a
I've
really
never
good
seen
job.
him, but I know Kong.
Building
Just
for
because
this.
They're
Kong
very,
Gorillas.
very good players. I didn't actually, if you look on my YouTube channel, it's just my name. If you look at my YouTube channel, there's an interview with those three boys. And they did a really good job with that last year. So,
I remember the interview where
Hey,
I think
where's
it was
that
Ice
kid?
Shiny. He got really
Max.
excited and he almost choked
Yeah.
Palador.
Max, are you allowed to get on YouTube?
Yeah.
Okay, so see
I'm
my
already
name?
following you.
Okay, so if you go to my YouTube channel, there's an interview there. It says interview with Kang, Winscoop, and Ryan. Those are the three boys I was telling you about. So if you want to
Yeah.
watch that, then they're around your age, okay? All right, you guys have a good night.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Hey, Hasco, is there a channel where I can post pictures? Or is there no like channels where I can post pictures?
For Echo?
Yeah.
There's Meme
Well,
Echo.
there's no. I think they deleted that. Pork, I think you can post in
What?
general. What kind of pictures are you trying to post?
My new PC build.
Yeah, do it in general. Yeah, always.
All
For
right.
sure. Yeah,
there's
people
there's
like
like a
that in
video
there.
or media channel somewhere.
Well, there's a video channel and a stream channel, but those are more like of this. But if you're posting
Isn't there
stuff
a
about your
shitpost
PC, put it in the general channel because people actually read that a lot, and you'll get some more feedback. You'll get more feedback on
All
it.
right.
Yeah.
Oh, by
Yes,
the way,
'cause-
I know a bit about computers.
You
Oh, yeah,
guys
no,
have a
it's
good
like-
night.
I've been awake like almost 20